What would you say to somebody who's considering Arsenal as a option?
You're done looking. We spent years trying to find this exact opportunity. My name is Chris Anderson. I'm the owner of Anderson Roofing and Construction out of Austin, Texas. Been with Arsenal now for going on 2.5, 3 months now. I've tried a lot of things that didn't work, and over the years we've had to definitely refine where we put our marketing dollars towards, and we did a real deep dive and did a lot of research, and Arsenal came up a few times, and great reviews, great online reputation, great references. Met with some of the team and I was sold. I think their price points, their commitment to meet our volume and meet our criteria, the dedication of the rep they've got me working with. I mean, Ryan is awesome, and his results really speak for themselves. I've had really comfortable conversations with all of them. Anytime that Ryan maybe didn't know a question, he was able to reach out and get the answer really easily from his team, from those guys. I really feel like Ryan is kind of my one-stop shop too, though. He's right there as my point of contact. I don't think I've talked to those guys enough to remember. Ryan has really handled all of my questions and concerns. So things that we've tried in the past, I mean, we have our guys out in the field, and that was kind of one of the things I stood by early on, was that nothing compares to door knocking. We get really good results when we canvas out in the field and have face-to-face interactions with people. The digital marketing and online presence that we've tried to establish did not have the same return on investment. So we had prioritized door knocking over digital marketing or cold calling. I didn't know if cold calling worked. Other lead generation programs didn't work. We weren't getting a return on our investment. And that's when we did the deep dive and decided to find Arsenal and find Ryan. And this works. Cold calling works. The return on investment is immediately apparent, and I think that this is a revenue stream that we are prioritizing now going into the new year, and it's definitely something I'm looking to replicate and grow, and Arsenal made that possible. Nope. Clearly not. I mean, yeah, if you'd asked me before Ryan and Arsenal, I would have said, yeah, probably. I mean, I wouldn't want to burn hourly payroll having somebody cold call. And it's been pitched to me before, buying call sheets and getting a room and getting some dedicated reps to just start calling. And I never pulled the trigger on it. It wasn't something I felt like was going to be worth the initial investment to do in-house. And Arsenal came in at the perfect time with the perfect plan. I really don't know. It's working so well. I don't know what you guys could be doing better. It's working so well, other than, just locking Ryan in a room and paying him overtime. I don't know. Well, like I said, we've got about 25 to 30 commercial clients in the pipeline in just the last couple of months that we've been working with Ryan. Every one of them fits our criteria. Every one of them has massive profit potential. He's vetted the points of contact very well, and he's also really good at helping me stay organized. He takes great notes, gives me a lot to work with going into those sit downs, and he follows up with them and helps try to overcome some of the gatekeeping and get us, get the results and get us in contact with the right people. It depends on the customer and it depends on the need. I tend to primarily do most of the follow-ups, but Ryan is willing and able to do those when I'm either not able to get in contact with somebody, or if I think that he established a really good rapport with them on their initial call, just on a case-by basis. But I've thought about having Ryan, take on some more of those follow-ups. I just don't want to take away from his time generating new leads. We do have a few proposals out now. I think in total we are at a little over $2 million. And we are also still a few weeks behind on that because of the volume he's been bringing in. We are restructuring in order to keep up. It worked really, really well. I think in the last couple of months, I think last I checked, we were at like 25 new commercial clients in just the past couple of months. It was, took a couple of weeks to get our criteria dialed in and get up and running, but man, does it work. Honestly, I would do this again. I would do this again. It takes a special kind of someone to do commission sales out in the field. And while we do have really good reps, we have not got the results that we've gotten with Ryan and Arsenal. If I had 10 more just like him, and as we scale, as we grow with Arsenal, we will be employing either more reps or finding a way to take more of Ryan's time. Arsenal has definitely helped us achieve our goals. I feel like we've definitely exceeded our goals. We did not expect this volume going into it. As I mentioned before, the strategies that we have tried didn't work. We did not get a return on our investment. Arsenal was immediately clear that this was the right thing to do. Arsenal is definitely worth the cost. I've seen price points all over the map for various services, and Arsenal was very, very fair. We also elected to incentivize Ryan with a bit of commission as well, because we really thought that that would incentivize the dedication, and whether or not that's the case, we couldn't ask for more dedication and commitment from Ryan and Arsenal in helping us achieve our goals. We need to restructure, and we need to hire more inspectors, just dedicated inspectors, to keep up with the volume of leads that Ryan has been bringing in. So we are really happy with the results, and we've got to set our goals higher. We chose the commission because I believe that anyone deserves to be compensated for their results. I think compensation should be commensurate with effort, and we didn't know what we were going to be getting when we first set out. We had high hopes, and I'm really glad that we went this route. I'm sure Ryan's happy too. These commissions are going to be nice, but they're going to be worth every penny for the opportunities that we've had to sit down with new commercial clients and get our business out there. Well, Ryan has exceeded my expectations. I get to look forward to an almost daily check-in with him. If he doesn't have a new lead for me, he's got some updates, or someone he's talked to and he's trying to refine the criteria and see if it's a good fit. I hear from him just about every day, and I've come to expect 2 to 3 new leads a week at a minimum. And I have a feeling that's actually going to grow as well. It seems like the pace has been growing. Just found out it's actually over 30 leads in the last couple of months that are in our pipeline. And as I mentioned, I don't know what the total potential is on all that work, but so far we've written about 3 or 4 of them proposals, and we're at just over $2 million on 3 to 4 of them. So I can't wait to see what these become when we do get these proposals in and as we get new leads in. I was blown away. I didn't expect it to happen so fast, and it was actually a very highly qualified lead. I knew that I was going to quickly have to step my game up to keep up with the quality of the leads that he was bringing in and the volume as well. That was pretty surreal, getting in that first lead getting in that first proposal for 1.6 was pretty surreal. That's about what we did in retail our first year in business, in one potential deal. Seeing that kind of volume shake out and knowing we had over 20 other ones in the pipeline already and 10 more right behind it, very surreal to see those kinds of numbers and have those kinds of opportunities as a direct result of the effort that Ryan and Arsenal have put in for our team. The future looks really, really promising. I know that we deserve to have that market share in our market. I know that our quality and our workmanship really, and our dedication to our customers speaks for itself. And I'm really excited to be partnered with a company like Arsenal to help us grow that business and to grow that presence and that reputation. I know that this is going to be a long-standing partnership, and I look forward to it. You're done looking. If you're looking for the right lead service, Arsenal is it. You don't need to look any further. We spent years trying to find this exact opportunity, and having a call center rep that understands your criteria and understands your business and the value that you bring to your customers, and he puts forth that dedication every day as if it was, his own company. You can't ask for more than that. They really deliver on their promise. Their rates are unbelievably fair. If you're on the fence, just give them a shot and you won't regret it. If anybody is thinking about using Arsenal, if Arsenal is willing to take you on as a customer, I say take the opportunity. I would definitely recommend Arsenal and Ryan to anybody looking to grow their business. I want to thank the team at Arsenal for giving us this opportunity. I want to thank them for assigning Ryan as our rep, and I want to thank Ryan for giving us the dedication that he has. I want to thank him for pushing and really meeting our criteria. I want to thank him for being organized and communicative. I really couldn't ask for more than Arsenal has delivered. I didn't expect that it would go as well as it did. I thought that this was something that was going to grow slowly. I had no reason to expect this momentum from somebody that wasn't on site and an actual part of our company. It really feels like Ryan is a part of our company. It really feels like Ryan is our lead gen service. And if you're thinking about setting up your own call center, if you're trying to do all of these things on your own and you're coming up short, give Arsenal a shot. You won't be sorry.
I'm extremely excited to have Chris here today because he is one of our core members. He's been here since the beginning. And I remember talking to you, I was just starting this division at the company. And although I had experience doing this and building roofing pipelines and getting guys success, the company Arsenal did not. We're IT. So I remember Chris was one of the guys that I had to talk to with just basically you just have to believe me that this is going to work pitch. And I think he was our second client. I think the only data that I had was what we did for Dave in a month's time. Chris came on board and now he's having a ton of success. So it just makes me happy to see, especially for all the guys that didn't want to do it, that it's working out really well. There's just more success to come in the future. Well, we had a bunch of new hires come in, and Ryan was cool, calm, collected. He had a very casual way of going about them, which is what I try to teach all guys, just kind of a natural when it came to talking on the phone. And I just thought it was going to be a perfect fit.
And Chris, are you happy that Ryan was the rep on your account?
Oh yeah. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I would have said he was your top guy, and he gave him right to me. I feel like we all took a chance on each other, and I think it really paid off.
That's very true.
I was just telling him earlier, I love when I get to the point where I have to call for him during the day. I usually save him for last in the day on a high note, and yeah, I love it.
That's always exciting. Anytime I sign on a new client, I just sit on pins and needles waiting for the first one to come, because especially in the beginning stages, I was losing sleep, sweating buckets. I'm like, all right, now we have some clients, now we have to deliver. And it was the first few days?
I feel like I blinked, and it was I honestly, when you guys called me with the first lead already, I don't try to wear too many hats in my business. So I'm always out in the field getting stuff done, and I've got my office manager putting on on a lot of follow-ups, a lot of administrative stuff, and I felt like I didn't even. I wasn't expecting us to even be done with the onboarding paperwork yet, and you guys were already calling me with results. And
It's one of those things where it's like the first one comes in, you're like, yes, and then the second one comes in a couple days later, and you're like, yes, and then the month starts to really shape itself out. And then as you're doing that, you always get the low-hanging fruit, but then, a few months in, which now you're in the prime territory because this is where the pipeline's really being built. This is where we have a lot of good information and kind of can slowly start to seeing how the year's going to play out.
I felt like it was really smooth. I felt like you guys were an established brand. I mean, the way that I was approached, it didn't feel gimmicky. It didn't feel salesy. I didn't feel high pressure. You guys you said the right things. You understood what my sort of pain points were, I think, and I don't think that you touched on them in like a salesy or contrived way. I felt like it was just kind of genuine that you guys were setting out to do things a little bit differently and actually get results for people.
Yeah, that's a good point. Anytime I get on a pitch with somebody, I just tell them, this is what we do. Do you think this will work? If not, all right, might be in touch later down the road, but it seemed like when talking to you, you guys were looking for what we deliver, and it was just the perfect fit. You couldn't ask for a better early client in the beginning stages.
And I think, the initial conversation, I imagine I was probably pretty apprehensive just because of all the things I've tried that didn't work and all the calls I get every day from people, pitching me the same script verbatim for, 20 different countries. And it gets old, and approaching this wasn't exactly a fun prospect for me, but I think in the first call, I went from apprehensive to, hopeful, and after probably the second call, I went from hopeful to excited.
Yeah, so I remember when, I was just sitting there dialing, and then Chris gives me a call, and so I'm sitting there, I see my phone ringing, and oh, Chris is calling me, okay. I pick it up, and he's excited. He's like, hey man, I just got back from this inspection, and this was perfect. He's like, I want 100 more like this, and he told me everything, all the details right there and then about what it was, and I was like, yeah, I remember talking to him about that, and now there's that. That's great. And so it was very exciting, that was just whenever he said, I want 100 more like that, I was like, I wonder if I could do that. I think I could do that.
So that's the biggest one that we've had so far is 1.6, but each and every single one of these that Ryan has sent us has, I would say, at least $50,000 worth of potential at minimum, and most of them need full replacements. Most of them, if under the right conditions, these would all be multi-million-dollar leads. Some of them have varying needs. Some of them need more than others. All of these are going to be leads to continue to follow up with and build relationships with. If we get into a storm situation, there's no telling what the earning potential is. But all of these, because of the criteria that we've set and Ryan is able to follow, I think every single one of these has several orders of magnitude potential for return on investment, and it's just up to us to take advantage of those opportunities in the best way that we can. Some of these we might shoot for the moon and have to come down and do what that lead can afford, or work with them. But yeah, in a storm situation, this is going to be a whole different level, and I'm very excited and also a little bit nervous about that. I don't want to scare anybody, but if you guys are going to go with Arsenal, quickly start thinking about growth, because you will have the opportunity, and you want to make sure that you're prepared. I really do. I feel like Ryan's a part of our team, and that's really good to feel like. I mean, you can't put a price tag on that, and if you try, it's still not a guarantee that you get that level of responsiveness, that level of dedication, commitment, and really just an understanding of our company and what's important to us and what's important to our customers. I feel like Ryan actually exemplifies that, and I trust him explicitly in reaching out to these customers and setting expectations for me. And that's a big deal.
Gives me that motivation to find those 1.6s and beyond jobs for him to do, and regardless of the price, I'm still just happy to help him out and to call for him, because I love it. I just love talking to those property managers, and as soon as they're telling me about the stuff they need help with, I'm like, well, Chris, guess what? I'm about to make you some money today.
And it's because of that. I mean, you've become like a leader in the roofing industry here. Anytime somebody comes up to me with questions, I'm just like, just go ask Ryan. Do what Ryan does. Ryan's got it figured out.
This industry is a game changer too. I mean, I don't know a lot of guys that go into sales in this industry and then stop. They come in from all over, all other walks of life, all other industries. But if you do this until you get good at it, it's the last thing you'll ever do. So, I mean, welcome to roofing, Ryan. Man, you're killing it so far.
Happy to be here.
And then the difference between the flat rate and the commission, like I mentioned, I considered both options, but I really wanted to incentivize that dedication and that commitment. I know I keep saying those two words, but I mean, really, that's what we're getting here. And I felt like at first, I had to go with a commission base to incentivize somebody. To really get that, I felt like the compensation needed to be commensurate with the effort. Honestly, I don't know that was necessary. I feel like, Ryan just gives it his all, and we would have got those results either way. But, I'm happy that he, is going to get some commission on these. I'm happy with the track that we took. That $1.6 million deal, I was breaking down the numbers, and Ryan's percentage, thinking about what he was going to make. And, for about 10 seconds, I mean, it's the biggest deal to date in our company. So for about 10 seconds, I was running the numbers, and I was like, man, that's a big chunk of change. But within less than 60 seconds, I mean, it just, all of that washed away, and I, got to a place that I felt really good about it. And I was like, man, Ryan, good for you, dude. I couldn't wait to call and tell him, and that I've got that expectation firmly set in my mind, and I'm completely happy with it. And I encourage you guys, anyone else thinking about it as well, give your rep that little extra incentive. The return on investment will be more than you can imagine. Man, I wanted to meet these guys after the results that we've been getting. I just needed to, shake their hand.
Yeah.
I really just wanted to look them in the eye and shake their hand and say thank you for what you've done for me and my company, and the opportunity that we now have in our market, and to thank you guys too. I'm really glad to be here. I'm really glad to be working with Arsenal, and I'm really excited for the future. This had to happen,
Yeah. We're glad to have you. I mean, I tell everybody before signing up, the guys who do the best are the ones that are always talking to their clients, listening to calls, having open lines of communication. And the guys that don't do as well are the ones that just wait for an appointment to pop up into their pipeline and then go on, and then, that's that. So you're doing the process perfectly. Couldn't ask for a better client.
Yeah, so, I walked in to doing roofing calls not knowing anything. And I just picked Rob's brain as much as I could. I probably bugged him too much. But I got as much info off of Rob as I could every time I could get a chance. And, I just built that on top of keeping in contact with Chris and knowing what Chris wanted, what Chris was looking for, and, staying on that on top of what he taught me. And the combination of the two, it just fell into place, and I felt extremely comfortable making my calls within a few weeks. And yeah, haven't changed much since.
I would have thought you guys had been doing this for roofing targeted clients for a long time. I mean, I feel like the amount we've grown together in such a short amount of time is just unbelievable to me. And if you guys are in construction, you need Arsenal, you need Ryan. You guys want to take advantage of that market share, take the jump. It's worth it.
Closing thoughts. I'm ready for the future, ready for more. I'm ready to set that 100 more that you asked for on that first proposal. Make it 200-300. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the future for sure. I know we're opening things up with TPO being added now to our repertoire, which I had a ton of roofs that I would look at and be like, man, it'd be nice to call Chris about this one, but now we can. So future is looking very bright in that regard, and it's awesome to meet Chris too, have him out here. It was awesome walking up to him, shook his hand, gave him a hug, and then yeah, it's been awesome.
Yeah, feels like a long time coming. Feels like we've been working together for longer than we have.
I know.
You guys have opened up, definitely new doors in our industry. We were doing, primarily shingles as it translated from residential. This year was our big push, and we wanted to get a little head start at the end of last year, thinking, it was going to take a little while to get things rolling. No, but we're doing TPO. We got a metal crew and stuff now. So a lot of that low-hanging fruit is now ripe for the taking.
Yep.
And we got to do this again in a year. I really do. I can't imagine what we're gonna have to say in a year from now.